Hello, Lillian and Crystal, Celeste, Althea, and Aurelia. And hello to any other little boys and girls that might be watching this video. Today's story is especially for my great niece, Crystal, and it is called The Octonauts and the Frown Fish. She likes the Octonauts right now, so when I am finished with this story, I'm going to mail it to her so she can follow along in her book. Anyway, let's get on with it. The Octonauts and the Frown Fish. It was a quiet and rainy afternoon at the bottom of the ocean when Professor Inkling was dusting his dust jackets. Quasi was watering his catnip. Tunip the Vegemite was tossing a salad. Peso Penguin was pinging. Shellington Otter was ponging. Tweet the Bunny was playing a game. Captain Barnacle's Bear was singing in the rain. Dashi Dog was sounding the octo alert. Alert! 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 I wonder what's going on. The crew hurried down to HQ to find Dashi monitoring the octopod screens anxiously. "There's a fish with a very big frown outside," she reported to the others. "He looks so glum that all the other creatures around him are starting to get upset too." "I can't find a fish like him on the Octonet," Dr. Shellington said excitedly. "Could he be a new species?" "Octonauts, we should investigate," Professor Inkling declared. Up close, the little fish looked even gloomier. "Why are you so sad?" Dashi asked with concern. But the fish only replied, "Glub, glub, glub." What a dilemma! None of the Octonauts spoke Frownese. "Perhaps if we understood his language, then we could help him," Dr. Shellington proposed. Shellington and Dashi spent hours in the lab trying to learn Frownese, but it proved to be a very difficult language to translate. "I don't think we can work much longer," Dashi sighed. "I'm starting to feel unhappy myself. Let's think of other ways to cheer him up." "Playing music with my friends always brightens my day," Peso shyly suggested. He invited everyone to pick up an instrument. Do, re, mi, plick, pluck, wah, wah, toot, dong, strum, 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 wheeze, chang, chang, tap, tap, ee, tink, tong, clang, twang, oompa, oompa, toot. Da do ron, gong, bonk, bonk. As the crew gathered together to play a happy song, other creatures joined in. There was a clamp capella group, a seahorse orchestra, and a baritone whale. Unfortunately, the frownfish didn't have an ear for music and continued to pout. Whoops. It's hard to feel sad when you're being glamorous, Quasi announced with a flourish. Let's have a dress-up party. The little fish tried on many different costumes. Cowboy, ghost, princess, magic user level 20, vampire, bumblebee, clown, doctor, ice cream, rock star, Frankenstein. But none of them could disguise his sadness. Oh my, he's a very sad little fish. Dashi held up her favorite camera and asked, "Why don't we visit the famous snail gardens? We could have a photography field trip." The Octonauts took photos of big snails and little snails, striped snails, and polka dot snails. The frownfish, however, wouldn't even smile for the camera. Do you see him all frowny-faced? A game of miniature golf always tickles my fancy, revealed Dr. Shellington. The group putted and swung their way through many aquatic obstacles. Sand shark traps, sea dragons, and electric eel tunnels. Their frownfish scored a hole-in-one on the king crab course, but he didn't look any happier. Oh my. I like working with my paws. Let's build something, Tweak suggested. Surrounded by gadgets and contraptions, the crew constructed a robo-tank for the frownfish. Tweak stood back and admired their work. Now our friend can use his new sea legs to visit us inside the octopod. If possible, the frownfish looked even frownier. Oh my. Can you frown? Show me your best frown. Tunip chirped eagerly as it led the group into the kitchen. Veggie love to cook and bake. Maybe the frownfish is hungry. Dr. Shellington interpreted helpfully. The whole crew set out to make their favorite pastries. They baked kelp cakes, kelp mushrooms. Not kelp mushrooms, kelp muffins. Sorry for my mistake. And even a fancy kelp souffle. The frownfish ate an entire plate of cookies, but he still looked unsatisfied. Oh my. I don't think anything's going to make this frowny fish happy. There he is. There's nothing like perusing the printed word to stimulate the intellect and galvanize the imagination, Professor Inkling exclaimed to a confused crew. To the library, my delightful colleagues! Professor Inkling read from his favorite book of jokes, but the frownfish didn't laugh even once. Frownfish must not have funny bones, Inkling decided. The other Octonauts weren't too sure. They didn't get the jokes either. I always feel better after I exercise, Captain Barnacles said. The Octonaut swooshed down the slide, climbed the jungle gym, and rode the seesaw. Peso and the frownfish sat on the merry-go-round while Quasi pushed them faster and faster until, whoop, the frown fish flew right off. The little fish turned, bounced, and rolled over. Everyone rushed over in alarm. They had only been trying to cheer him up, but now he might have gotten hurt. Ooh, look at the frowny fish's face. Do you see something? What does that look like on his face to you? Does it look like a frown? I don't think so. To the Octonauts' surprise, the frownfish had a big smile on his face. Show me your big smile. Oh, I love your big smiles. Of course, Professor Inkling realized he's not a frownfish. He's an upside-down fish. There are different types of fish that swim upside down. It's easier for them to spot food. This chap is a fine example of an upside-down catfish. Whoops. Everyone laughed in relief to discover that their new friend had been smiling the whole day. The catfish made a big "erp" and turned himself back upside down. Or was it right side up? The end. And what's our little turtle saying? Let me see. It says, I'm sad this book is over. It's okay, little turtle. There will be more books. I hope all of you enjoyed the Octonauts and the Frownfish.